Welcome to the Listenercast.
It's us.
We're back.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Whitney.
And together...
we finally remembered to say our names.
Yes.
We're the Listenercast.
That's us.
And just by listening...
you're a listener.
Yeah. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween, Whitney.
Happy Halloween, Ryan. This is the Halloween episode because this comes out the day before Halloween.
It sure does.
I'm festive. I've got my spider web. We just said it. Bandana. I'm wearing a He Is Legend shirt, but it's got a spooky pumpkin and an owl on it.
Mm-hmm.
I got ghosts on my slippers, and I got a bat on my wrist.
I've got Nikaido from Dorohedoro, and she's a devil.
So you're festive too.
And I got Boston, Massachusetts.
That is scary.
It's a scary place. I've never been to Boston.
Me either.
Brittany just went to Boston not too long ago.
Did she buy you that hat?
Yes,
there?
she did.
Cute.
I hear really good things about Boston, especially when it comes to like food and stuff.
I've also heard good things. I've been on connecting flights through Boston, but I've never been to Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we're doing Dawnshard today. This is the novella between Oathbringer and Rhythm of War.
It sure is.
Super exciting. What are you pointing at?
I was just pointing that we're doing Dawnshard.
Okay. I was like, oh, my pen.
Yeah, throw your pen around. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. So yeah, we're doing Dawnshard today. And after that, then we get into Rhythm of War. Ooh. We have one more book left until Wind and Truth.
We sure do.
Is there an official page count for Wind and Truth yet? Because I know...
No, there's just a word count.
Yeah, because I saw that Cosmere Junkie posted that the audiobook is 62 hours.
Yeah.
And you sent it to me. Well, I saw it on my feed.
Uh-huh.
And then I almost sent it to you, but then you had DM'd me earlier, so I was like, I should go check and see if Ryan actually just sent this to me. Mm-hmm. And then you had, and that's what I responded with, I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah, dude. It's pretty crazy. That will probably be the longest book I've ever read.
Yeah, probably same, to be honest. That's gotta be close to like 2,000. No.
That's not 2,000 pages.
I'd say like 1,600 to 1,700 is gonna be my guess. Because how much is Rhythm of War? We're prepared. Have it on deck, yeah.
I'll let you know.
Because this is the one.
Yours is shorter than mine, because I just have the trade paperback.
I have the big tome.
Mine is without the extra bits in the back. Should I count the extra bits in the back?
Not the Ars Arcanum or whatever it is.
Okay,
Arcanum.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. 1260.
Oh, okay. So maybe
probably close to like
14 or 15.
14.
Yeah.
100.
But also, this book did the same thing that Oathbringer did, because I noticed in my copy, copy of this book, the words are way smaller.
Yeah.
So I opened it and I was like, oh no.
They're so tiny.
They're so little.
For some reason, I guess I got used to Oathbringer's like print though, because when I look at this, I'm just like, this seems a little bit better. Yeah,
I don't know. With the bigger copies, there was a visible... like I opened that book and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you want to read the comment we got? Because I was like, I know we want to get into the book and we normally don't yap this much in the beginning, but it's exciting.
Yes. Last episode, my end question was for to tell us your favorite world leader.
Yeah.
We got a comment from Pokemon Freak 8901. That's our Australian listener.
Yes.
Gave us some fun facts. 2 fun facts about Australian prime ministers. Harold Holt vanished while swimming off the coast in Victoria. Subsequently, a public swimming pool was named after him. That's awesome.
Which is kind of
actually
it's
awesome.
Like, hey, you probably died by drowning. We'll name a pool after you.
I love that.
The other one's my favorite, though.
Bob Hawke. Already awesome name. Previously held the record for drinking a yard of beer in 11 seconds.
How do you drink a yard of beer? I need to see because in my brain, I'm thinking how much a yard is. So
Yeah.
I would like to see that in a container.
Yeah.
To know how much that is.
That's like, have you ever watched Badland Chugs?
No, I don't even know what that is.
He's just a larger individual. His whole channel is he just chugs drinks.
Huh.
That's his whole shtick.
Not good for him.
Yeah.
I mean, get your bag. No judgment here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thank you for leaving that comment. We were very excited to see that someone did that.
Yeah, thank you for doing your homework assignment.
Yeah.
Pokemon Freak 8901. Everyone else,
you're failing.
You can still get some credit.
But we're on to you. Okay. Do you want to read Dawnshard now?
I guess.
I read this. I made a TikTok about it. Last Sunday, I was like, I'm not getting out of bed today. I had a really long week, and I was like, I'm not getting out of bed today.
Yeah.
And so I was on chapter 9, so I read the rest of part 1, and then I read all of Dawnshard in like one sitting.
Yeah.
Because I'm a psychopath. But really, it was because I wanted to read the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk about that later, though.
You texted me and you said, "Are you still good to record on Tuesday?" And I was not even halfway done with part 1
You're
of
like,
Rhythm of War.
No.
I actually don't think I had started at all.
It happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm usually the one that reads like the day before.
I just got too carried away with listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl.
It happens.
I'm almost done with the 6th book.
Nice. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So, Dawnshard, Whitney.
Yes, Ryan. Why are our books different colors? Yours is so much brighter than mine. Yeah. Yours
Probably just different printings.
Yeah, yours is a much brighter blue. Wow.
Are they? I don't think they are.
On like the cover, you see?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, yours is like more teal. I don't know.
I kind of want to get your like beginning thoughts of Dawnshard, because had you read this before?
This was actually my first time fully reading it.
Okay.
I had like started this book at one point.
Yeah.
And then just like, I'm really not a novella person.
Okay.
I'm like, give me the meat.
Okay.
You know, like every once in a while I read a novella and I'll be like, that was good. I enjoyed that.
Right.
Like I enjoyed Edge Dancer because I was like, this is a really nice break in between these really intense books.
Yeah.
This one I think is good, but I know that this one, you know, it doesn't exist for this sole reason. But to me, this one exists because it is important in a greater Cosmere setting.
Okay. I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. I still like this book, and I love Rysn as a character and everything.
Yeah.
But we also get a lot of Lopin, which is dope. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not really a novella person. I see where we benefit from them, and especially with Brandon Sanderson and the Cosmere and everything. But in general, I'm like not super keen to pick up a novella.
Just like when you say like novella, like I'm guessing you mean books in between other books. Just
in a series, like if it's like
gotcha.
Here's a novella. I'm like,
they're like standalone novellas that like aren't part of anything,
and that's fine. Yeah, but like if it's in a series, I'm just kind of like,
yeah.
I don't know. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
If you like novellas, good for you.
I'm indifferent.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it obviously for the Cosmere because Dawnshard ends up being really important.
Yes.
So it's good to get kind of the backstory of how we got there.
Yeah. So were you like shocked by anything in this?
No, I honestly still find it really confusing. I don't really understand it. So yeah. Because like we don't really get a full description of like, I mean, we do get a description of like what the Dawnshard is, but like I still at the end of the book was like, I don't think I really know what it is still. Besides, it's just exist in Rysn now.
Yeah.
But I still don't know what it is. I just know it's the Dawnshard.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
And we do at some point.
At some point.
At some point. Is it even in the Stormlight archives, or is that like a different book?
It's in this.
Yeah, but okay. You know what?
This is the Stormlight archive.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's just start the.
Okay.
Start the podcast.
All right. Prologue. Yalb is alive.
Whoa. That was intense.
Him and his crew find the ghost ship.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm excited that Yalb is alive.
Yes. We got an inclination that he was alive from Shallan.
Yes.
In, I think, Words of Radiance? No. It was either that or Oathbringer. She just had like a funny vision. And she like saw that Yalb made his way onto a beach and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's that new guy that's on the ship, Doc, and he says, "Is it true you sank once, Yalb?" And Yalb said, "The ship sank. I merely happened to be a resident thereon."
Yeah.
And he says, "Not what I heard," Doc said, his voice slightly spiced with an Alethi accent. "Didn't you tell people the whole storming ship vanished underneath you?" "Yeah, well, I swallowed half the ocean before someone fished me out. I wasn't exactly a reliable witness at that point, was I?" Which I think is kind of interesting, because it's like at some point they were like, yeah, the whole thing just disappeared.
Yep.
Which like we know is true.
Yes.
So yeah, it's just interesting. But yeah, we find out only 3 members of the crew of the Wind's Pleasure survived, y'all being one of them.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Thank God. All right.
Yeah, that's all I got. I've had very sparse notes in this.
Yeah.
I think you guys are mostly just probably going to get summaries and some thoughts, and then we'll call it a day on this one, and we'll move on to Rhythm of War.
Chapter 1. Rysn, accompanied by Chiri-Chiri and her new porter, Nickley, is concerned about her Larkin, who is being examined by Talik, who says she should try and take her to Amia, or Aamia, however you say it. Rysn remembers that Navani had put out a call for ships to investigate the island.
Yeah, I think it's Amia. I think that's how they said it in the audiobook.
Mm-hmm.
I love Chiri-Chiri. I want a Larkin myself, and then I found out they get dragon-sized. Which I know Brandon has said before that there is a dragon book coming. And so, or that there is dragons in the Cosmere already. So I'm wondering if...
Wait, yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
There's a dragon on Roshar.
Yes. Is it Chiri-Chiri?
It is, no. That is something he has said, that there is a dragon on Roshar, and I think that we've met them.
Yeah, it's like a person.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was that excerpt from... Isn't there a new book? A new secret project or something?
Maybe.
Did I dream this? Sometimes when I start talking...
there's a new secret project.
When I start talking, sometimes I'm convinced I've made things up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was reading this, and especially when they get to Amia and they kind of start to describe more about the Larkins. I'm like, oh my God, the dragons.
The dragons.
But yeah, I want a Larkin.
Do they have a Larkin plush?
I don't know. Maybe.
If there's not a Larkin plush,
they should.
Dragonsteel, you're missing out on money.
Yeah. Or they could get like, have you seen like at the Ren Fair, the people that do the little dragons on the shoulders?
And they can turn their heads and everything.
Yeah, that'd be cute. That'd be cute. Oh, really good Rysn cosplay. I would never want to do a Rysn cosplay because I personally am not disabled, and I feel like someone that's not disabled doing a Rysn cosplay could be...
I think that would be fine.
I don't know. I don't want to like get a wheelchair.
You just have to make it float.
When I'm able-bodied, you know? Yeah, I just have to make it float. I don't know. I think it's a really cool, like, I don't know. That's a very accessible cosplay, and I think that's so sick. Yeah. But I would never want to do a Rysn cosplay as like an able-bodied person.
I think that would be fine because people do like Professor X cosplays.
Oh, that's true, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels wrong to me.
Okay. I mean, that's fair.
I think everyone can cosplay whatever they want, but I don't know. That one feels a little...
Yeah.
And that's just me. Other people may be like, yeah, do whatever you want. And I think everyone should do what they want regardless. But to me, I'm like, I don't know. All right.
Chapter 2. Navani and Rysn negotiate terms, and Lopen, Huyo, and Rushu are going to be accompanying them.
Rushu.
Yes. I love Rushu.
I do too. She's just so like
funny.
She's so funny. Let's see.
Yeah.
I had marked. Oh, Navani asked the missing Soulcaster. Rysn had only just been told this particular piece of intelligence. The ghost ship, First Dreams, had carried a rogue Soulcaster as a passenger, not a Knight Radiant, but a woman trained in the use of one of the ancient devices that could transform things from one material to another. Rysn said, we didn't find the Soulcaster, neither the woman or the device. It seems likely that someone knew the ship was carrying this runaway, then attacked it, murdering the crew to get to the Soulcaster. So we saw a interlude.
Yes.
With that Soulcaster. Mm-hmm. Which book? I don't remember now.
It was Oathbringer.
Oathbringer?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you remember.
I think it was after part 1. Yeah.
You know better than I do. But yeah, so I just think that's interesting that interlude
is like a follow-up.
Yeah, it like comes back as to being like, oh yeah, that Soulcaster. We don't know what happened to her. She's probably dead.
It's like a running thing with a lot of these that the interludes are used as a means to introduce us to characters that we will get more of later on and everything.
Yeah.
Like, I really think there was the guy at the lighthouse that was charged with like burning the pyre or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's going to come back eventually. I don't necessarily think he will be like a major character, but I think he will come back maybe within book 5.
Maybe.
Yeah. But yes.
Or if not, we'll find out in 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay. We're not going to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do that. Maybe we'll do like a Stormlight 5 theory crafting episode after we do Rhythm of War or something.
Yeah, we'll do a theory crafting episode. We are doing a what do you call it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Fan fiction episode.
Oh yeah, at some point.
I kept wanting to say fan theory, but it was like, no, like fan fiction episode. Just go find the highest rated fanfics, talk about them.
Read them to you.
No, I'm not going to read them to you. Unless.
Chapter 3?
Chapter 3. Lopen meets with Talek and immediately brings him up to the sky. They get along great, and Lopen finds out that the king of the Reshi is a newly born Dustbringer. Kaladin gets a little upset with Lopen, but tells him he's going on a trip. They decide to bring Cord along with them.
Yes. This is the first time we have like quote unquote met like a Dustbringer, because I think there is one present at Eurythera, but we don't know what their powers are quite yet.
It's Malata. It's she works for Taravangian.
Yeah, so we don't really.
We know that she can just like destroy stuff.
Yeah, we don't really know like what her powers are yet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I actually marked here where Talek says, before you take me down, I have a somewhat delicate question for you. Our king, who is one of my parents, has undergone some unusual physical changes lately. They have transformed him in dramatic ways, and at first we thought it was a gift from our god, as he was not born looking as he does now. We now realize this transformation is in relation to a spren that he has been seeing. It is why he agreed to make this long trip. Your king is radiant, Lopen said. What kind? He can make the very air seem to catch flame, Talek said, and sees a spren that burns through the inside of objects in curious tree-like patterns. Lopen says, Dustbringer, we've been hoping to find some more. This is great. But yeah, so just wanted to touch on that, is that they can just burst things into flames.
Yes.
And also I think it's interesting. It says he was not born looking as he does now. Like the way that he looks has somehow changed with his bonding of his spren.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's maybe because of like him being Reshi, or like just maybe with like Dustbringer sprens.
Yeah.
That maybe affects them in that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
We haven't really, we've literally only seen like Malata.
Yeah, and even then, like, we haven't seen a good use of her powers. Yeah. Like what she actually does.
Yeah, and Lopen here even says, like, don't have him talk to our other Dustbringers.
Yeah, he's like, don't do that. Yeah. But I also just like love this whole scene with Lopin because it's like, he's like, oh, welcome to our tower. Would you like to see the view? And then just shoots up into the air.
Did not wait for a response.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah.
All right. Chapter 4.
Rysn meets with Captain Drulwand, and the two kind of butt heads. Rysn realizes that the captain thought she was going to be given the ship and resents Rysn for it. They find out that the ship Pet was found dead, and the crew is offered to stay ashore. Only 3 leave, but luckily Cord is there to replace the cook. Rysn tells Nickley to take part in the crew's hazing to build camaraderie.
Yeah, I don't have any notes for this chapter.
I don't either. I do not either.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, like, obviously with sailing and like the cruise, especially, I'm sure that there is an actual culture around that in real life as well.
Yeah.
With people that work on ships, but just it's really interesting to be like, oh yeah, you have to go join the hazing because it will create like a camaraderie with everybody.
Yeah.
And then also the captain like not liking Rysn just immediately because she thought that the ship was going to be for her. And so once Rysn realizes that, she's like, oh, no wonder she hates me.
Yeah.
And no wonder the crew is so weird. And then also like, because the whole time she's thinking like, oh, this is because I can't walk and, you know, it's really inconvenient for me to be here.
Yeah.
But like, she's not letting that stop her, which I love. But then she figures that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't really blame the captain either.
No, not at all. Because like the way that it gets described is like, you know, she had been with, what's her Basque's name? I can't think off the top of my head right now. But like you went on so many expeditions with this guy, and then he starts to, you know, commission a ship to be built.
Yeah.
And you're thinking like, well, I've been following this guy. I've been captaining, you know, excursions with him forever. Like, and he really likes me. Obviously, this is going to be for me.
Yeah.
Oopsies.
Yeah. Well.
All right. Chapter 5.
Chapter 5.
These books creak so bad. There's some ASMR for you.
Listen to my creaky book.
My creaky book. Oh, I hate that. Okay. Chapter 5.
Cord discovers there are worms in the grain, but Rysn, being the goat, trades them for some jerky. Nickley is by himself and talks to other Sleepless. He convinces them to give him another chance to dissuade the crew instead of killing them all. Wait.
What?
Was that chapter 5?
That was, yes.
I just read chapter 6.
Okay, chapter 5.
Rysn and Lopin bond. Rushu explains the function of some fabrials.
Cool.
That's it.
I have no notes.
All right. That's a quick fix. Yeah.
Yeah.
We won't have to fix that in editing at all. All right. So chapter 6 now.
Yeah. We do see in the beginning of the chapter, oh my God, what's his name? You just said it. The Sleepless. What is his name?
Nickley.
Yeah, it's not on one of these pages. He says to her, like, maybe it happened, or no, she's talking to the captain, actually, so ignore me. The captain says, maybe it happened because of our destination. The men dream terrible dreams full of premonitions, and their dread passion creates omens. The other sailors nodded again. Storms with this, and with the death of the ship's pet the day before setting sail, while Rysn herself almost believed. She needed to turn this attitude around quickly. And, you know, the captain's like, oh, we know, you know, everybody knows this in the crew about it, you know, about the worms being in the grains. But yeah, I think it's really interesting that it says their dread passion creates omens. So we kind of get a little bit of an understanding of like the passions, quote unquote, or at least like kind of can theorize as to like, oh, when a passion, you know, like in this particular situation, it's like, oh, I can think about this as like almost like the law of attraction, where it's like if you are going to a bad destination and you are expecting it to be bad and then bad things happen because you are thinking bad things, it's like, I don't know. That's the way that I interpreted it off of this.
And it makes sense in a way of just like, if you wake up and like, you're just like, oh, today's going to be miserable. you're probably going to feel like that all day because you started off with the mindset of today is going to be miserable.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So it's just interesting. I don't know, because we've heard about the passions before, but we've never really seen it firsthand. And so that was kind of the first thing I've seen where I was like, okay, I can kind of theorize around what this may be. I don't know.
So Nickley's a Sleepless.
Yes. That was
how do we feel about that?
The next thing that I marked in here. Because we met a Sleepless in Edge Dancer as well.
Yes.
I still think they're gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that coming. I think they're really cool. I love how they're like communicating.
Yeah, that he can just like talk. Yeah, you can talk
like all around the world, like other hordes. Is that what they're called? Like hives?
Yeah, because they're like a hive mind, basically. Yeah.
And it's really cool. And he's like considered to be young.
Mm-hmm. Even though he's like thousands of years old.
He's like hundreds of years old.
Hundreds of years, sorry.
Get it right. But yeah, it's like just very interesting. And there's also not that many of them. There's like, I think he's like the 20 something. He's like the 24th Sleepless.
Yeah, there's not that many.
Yeah. But it's neat. And they mentioned the Sleepless that we met in Edge Dancer by name.
Yeah.
And I forgot to mark it. But he's like kind of an outcast from the other Sleepless.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he's young?
No, I think.
Or the other guy.
Yeah, because he doesn't like vibe with the other Sleepless.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting they say to him in this conversation, like, oh, we can tell that you like the humans.
Mm-hmm.
And like the whole reason they kind of let Nickley go out and go on this whole excursion is because he has adapted to human mannerisms really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think it's interesting. And they're like, you like the humans. And he's like, yeah. So please, like, let me try to keep them away another time.
Right.
Yeah.
The swarms. That's what they're called.
The swarms.
Sorry, I'm just like looking at all their names right now.
No, you're good.
Yes. Arklo.
Oh, yeah.
Arklo right. Mediterranean.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay.
All right. Chapter 7.
Lopin and Cord chat, and Huio comes and gives Cord a message. Huio then goes and messes up Rushu's span read.
I really like the little crush that Lopin has on Cord.
Yeah.
I like Cord's whole thing of like, I was scared of places that weren't home, and now I find things that make me scared are also things that are interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I like dangerous things. I didn't know this. I like that whole thing. Let's see. Oh, and we actually get Cord talking about Rock making the choice to go back to the Horneater Peaks.
Yes.
To be punished. Because he
fired the bow.
Because he fired a bow, yeah. And he shouldn't. But Cord says to Lopin, do not afraid for my father, Lopin. He will choose his choice. If he must go home, I will stay, and Gift will stay. We will do his work. We will see for him. See, Lopin said. See Spren, you mean? And she nodded. And this is when they realize that like she can see all the Spren. And obviously we know she's able to see so well, and like Horneaters in general, is because of the perpendicularity that's on the Horneater Peaks. So Cord comes in a lot of handy here, that she has that ability to see the Spren. So
yeah.
This
is our first also inclination of Huio being smart.
Yeah, with him taking apart the span read.
Yeah, because his whole like he literally says like what does he say? The aluminum has fascinating properties. I believe the captive's spren are reacting to its presence, almost like prey react to a predator. When I touch this foil to the stone, they push the other side of their confines. I hypothesize that the aluminum interferes with their ability to sense not only my thoughts of them, but the thoughts of their conjoined half. Huh? Because
you're like, what are you talking about?
Well, yeah, because we have seen Huio from the perspective of somebody who does not speak Herdazian, and he struggles with Alethi.
Yeah, because he can't speak the language, like barely.
So
he comes off as like kind of
not as intelligent.
Yeah, he comes off not as intelligent because he can't speak.
There's
Alethi.
that language barrier and everything. But really, he's pretty smart guy.
Yeah.
Which like, I think Lopen says like you've always been the smartest of us.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it a lot because it really is just kind of like that. Like switch where it's just like, oh wait, duh. Like I'm, wait a minute. No, Huio is not just a goofy Herdazian.
Yeah, like he's smart.
He is a goofy Herdazian, but
he is smart, but he's just not able to articulate it in Alethi.
Yeah,
like you get him talking to Lopen, who obviously speaks like his native language, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So
it's great. It really honestly made me feel kind of bad the first time I read it because I was just like, oh. I thought these guys were just all a little silly.
Yeah.
You know.
Never judge a book by its cover.
It's true.
All right. Chapter 8.
A dead Xanthid shows up, and in a way to hopefully cheer the crew up, Rysn tells them to drag the corpse with them to properly dispose of it. However, when they go to touch it, it disperses into cremlings.
Oh, it's so gross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have any notes in particular, but that whole scene, because like you see Rysn like really trying to save it. She's like, I need to get to this island. Like, we gotta get to Amia because like Chiri-Chiri is gonna perish otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really, really like that. She's like, you know what? I'm gonna make the best of this situation. Like I'm gonna make this the best I can.
Yeah.
Let's, the corpse would want us to
yes,
use it for the best of abilities that like, to respect it and whatever. I can't remember exactly what she said at this point. Obviously, I read this like 2 weeks ago, but yeah, I like that whole thing. And then it just is a bunch of crabs.
Yeah.
Ew.
It's pretty cool.
I don't know. I have like a thing with like
things that skitter.
Swarm like on their own I'm fine. Like if I saw like a crab, I'd be like, that's nice. But if I saw like
that's nice.
Yeah, but if I saw like a conglomerate of crabs, I'd be like, ugh! I don't like thinking about all their little legs climbing over each other. I don't know why that freaks me out. Same with like spiders. I see a spider and I'm like, oh, little guy, let me put you back outside. You don't belong here. But if I saw like a bunch of spiders, I'd be like, ew.
So you are like so there has to be like a word for this.
There has to be like a specific, like a fear.
Yeah, like a fear of swarms.
Yeah. I have it, whatever it is. Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Tell us in the comments if you know what this is.
I didn't like the way you were looking at me. I was like, are you about to like, you are unpacking an evil plan to like show up at my house and be like, I got you a gift. And then it's like a box
full of 100 crabs.
I'd rather die. Like, I even hate going to the farmer's market because like.
But what? Why?
Because of all the crabs.
They have crabs at the farmer's market?
Yeah, the one in it's in DeKalb County. It's a little bit far for me, but like I go down there sometimes and it's like at this massive farmer's market.
Okay.
And they have like a whole seafood section. And they have like live lobsters and crabs and crawfish and I don't
Well, you're also deathly allergic to it, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Maybe
yeah.
I would never survive on Roshar, bro.
Never, ever, ever.
That would be natural selection at its finest.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to chapter 9.
Chapter 9. On a beach, Vistim tells Rysn that Navani has the Radiance there to find the Oath Gate. The two wonder if a fused Lightweaver is among them. Ford tells Rysn some lore about the Sleepless, and then Rushu demonstrates how the using Huio's mistake can lift up Rysn's chair.
Yes.
Yes.
I also, since we were speaking about languages earlier, I was thinking about this scene. Whenever Cord is trying to talk to Rysn and be like, oh, yeah, trying to just explain lore to her. And then Rysn starts speaking in Vaden.
Yeah.
And then Cord's like, oh, thank God, I can actually talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Because they don't speak Vaden, but it's so close to the peaks that like I think it's a more common language for them to learn up there.
Yeah.
And so I just like that, like, oh my God, because like you see her struggle trying to talk to everybody. You can tell she gets frustrated because she just like doesn't have the words.
Yeah.
So then for Rysn to like switch and her to be like, oh my, I could actually talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Love that.
Like it's kind of interesting because I'm not like a language nerd at all. Like I don't speak any other languages. I've tried. It's a struggle.
Yeah.
I like the I'm trying to think. I like the interaction between languages and like the study of like roots of words and stuff though. Like it's really cool. It's the reason I like Babel so much.
Oh, what is it? There's a word for it.
Yes, there is. It's very interesting. It's not like something I go home and research or anything, but I always like enjoy that. Phonetics?
No, phonetics is the sounds, not the roots of the word. Oh, I'm going to go crazy. Can you Google it? Because it was like a major at my school and I considered majoring in it. And now I can't even think of what it's called.
Study. Not stuffy. Study of the roots of words.
I love the future.
Etymology.
Etymology, yeah.
Etymology. Yeah. Etymology is very interesting. But Rysn brings it up. The reason like she's so good with Vaden is because it is so much like Alethi and everything. And that's, you can kind of like surmise that to a lot of romance language.
Yeah, that's like, what I was going to say. Like if you know one romance language, it's pretty easy to figure out the other ones. In theory, I've never like...
Yeah.
I used to speak more fluent French when I lived in Canada, but I wouldn't even say my French was like that good when I was living there. I like spoke enough to get by, but I didn't live in a mostly French province. So it wasn't like a necessity, but it was more just like a challenge for myself to teach myself French. And then like when you go into like government buildings or like most places, they'll be like, hello, bonjour. And then however you respond is how they'll speak to you.
Yeah.
Because people that grow up there learn both typically. So I've always wanted to learn Spanish, and especially with like the way that like where I live, we have like a really large Hispanic population.
Yeah.
And like I've just always consistently worked with Spanish speaking people, and I always have just felt so bad that I don't know Spanish.
Yeah.
It's still like on my list of things I want to learn because I just feel like it's a really good skill to have. And I don't know, like I have a lot of neighbors that like I can't talk to. Yeah. Because they don't speak English super well, which is not their fault. But I would like to. I would like to talk to them.
Yeah. No,
their kids are always really cute.
I would love to learn how to speak Spanish. I took like over 6 years of Spanish.
Wow.
And, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I took 4 years in high school, 2 years in college, and I can understand very basic things.
Yeah. I find that I learn because I haven't been like purposely teaching myself Spanish, but I've just been like watching Spanish media and listening to like more Spanish music, and that's how I learn.
Shout out Rosalia.
Rosalia, yeah. I like I'm sure you've seen it, that Tiny Desk.
Yeah.
With it's like Casavermiel and Paco Amoroso.
Oh no.
You haven't seen that one?
No.
I'm gonna show you after we're done because it's amazing.
Okay.
But like I looked up all the songs that they played, and I was like reading the lyrics while they were doing it. So I will listen to the songs in the car. They sound totally different because they're like an electronic artist, and then like they did this crazy jazz fusion thing for Tiny Desk. And so like I'll listen to songs in the car, and my brain automatically is like, this is what this line is, and this is what this line is. So that's like how I figure. I'm like, oh, I could learn Spanish by like music and TV and stuff. Not that I need to like sit down and do Duolingo. I'm sure it would help like grammatically, but
yeah.
And I definitely could not have a conversation right now because I only know song lyrics. But it's a start, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're getting so sidetracked.
No,
today.
that's okay. I mean, like, because we're kind of flying through it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the people like our banter.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Someone does.
Somebody does.
They left us a comment, so thank you.
But I was going to say, like, what is it? Spanish and Portuguese sound very similar.
Yes.
They are not the same at all.
No.
But I'm sure if you know one, I've heard it helps with the other.
That's what, like, if you know French, a lot of words are really similar to Spanish.
Yeah.
Or
It's
vice
just
versa.
like all Romance language, except for English, I think.
Is English a Romance language?
Yes.
Oh.
Because English just breaks a lot of the rules.
Yes.
Because
it's like one of the hardest languages to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because like we have so many words that are the same but mean different things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There, and there.
And you like don't really see that with other languages. You only really see it with like a feminine masculine, and that's always contextual. So
yeah.
We do see Cord in this chapter. She says, "My people know the gods well. There are gods you call spren. There are gods that are like people, but some gods are neither. The one we met is of a group called the gods who sleep not." And so that's what she says. They are a swarm of creatures, but they have one mind each. They have traveled our land always as a creeping group of kremlings. They are not evil, but they are extremely secretive. So by this point, we don't know that, what's his name is, I keep forgetting his name.
Nickley?
Yeah, I don't know why I keep forgetting it. We don't know he's a Sleepless quite yet, but.
Yeah, we do.
We do?
We had a whole chapter where he talks to other Sleepless.
Well, yeah, I mean, but Rysn doesn't know that.
Oh, Rysn doesn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, so they know that there's one about because of the Xanthid thing, and Cord is saying like, hey, this is what I think this is.
Yeah.
And so Rysn's like, oh, thanks. And then, hopefully we'll figure it out. I have something else marked towards the end here. Oh, just a nice moment, I guess. Once they figure out the Fabrial thing.
Yeah.
Nickley says, I would like nothing more than to be put out of this job, Rysn. He said softly and hesitated. This is an important discovery for so many people. You should make certain to transfer it quickly via Stanreed so it is not lost in case something happens to this expedition. So it's like, he's like, all right, I know I'm trying to kill these people, unfortunately. Rysn, this is a really good discovery. So I like that it's like, he's like, yeah, accessibility, send that to everyone you know right now.
Right now.
Yeah, but
which is like good for him.
Yeah, kind of doing the right thing.
Yes.
In his mind.
He
I don't know.
Understands this discovery will help a greater amount of people, so he's like, I might kill you, so
you should tell somebody. Yeah. All right.
Chapter 10.
Let's do it.
Nickley frames Cord, but it backfires on him and he gets arrested instead. Then they leave him on the beach.
And then he turns into a bunch of little crabs again.
Yes.
Yeah, I have no notes for this.
Yeah. I don't either.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Let's move on to chapter 11 then.
Lopin has a great time in the storm. After breaking through, Lopin notices dark shadows under the water and wonders if that's what drained the other radiance of their light.
I wonder.
You wonder.
As they start pulling up to the island, says it was surrounded by big stone spikes rising out of the ocean like a wall, somehow built in the sea itself. But there was a huge gap where a dozen or more had either been removed or never placed. As the ship drifted farther, the water stilled in an eerie way. The gap revealed a shallow island, small enough that Lopin could probably walk around the perimeter in an hour or so. Near the center, he spotted what he thought must be the city walls and maybe structures near them. So that's just a description of the island I thought was cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know that Amia is like a place that, we don't really know that much about, besides the fact it's like nobody really goes there.
Yeah.
And so they pull up and it's like really menacing looking, but it's also like, oh, but look at all these spaces for your ships to come in and dock here. Very tempting.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right. Chapter 12.
Yep.
Rysn spots Akina. The lookouts say that they see great shells.
Great shell shells.
Yes, and gem hearts on the shore. Rushu and the Windrunners want to head towards the city, and Chiri-Chiri dives into the water.
She said, bye.
Bye, gotta go.
With the Luxbren.
Yes, with the Luxbren. Which have been coming like more and more as they get closer to their destination.
Yep.
Yeah. Chapter 13.
I was like, you're nailing it on the summaries today, right?
Rushu suspects the beach is a graveyard of sorts. Lopin gets curious as to why there's no crumb buildup. Lopin and Rushu head in search for the Oath Gates. So, Lopin is not completely stupid.
Like we once thought.
Uh-huh. Well, I never thought he was stupid.
He just is a silly guy.
He's a wise guy.
Yeah. He's a wise guy.
But he's not a very intelligent guy. Well, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I like Lopin.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like Lopin? It literally gets brought up in here that somebody says to him, nobody can hate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't have any notes. I mean, we just see that, obviously there's no crumb buildup, and then all these, it's really, there's a setup of like, isn't this seem like a place that's so inviting, and look at all these riches right on the shore. Mm-hmm. You want them so bad.
Mm-hmm. So bad.
All right.
Chapter 14. Cord tells Rysn her desire for shards, and Rysn realizes the gem hearts might be a ploy. What? I really like Cord's Cord kind of giving us a little more backstory about why she wants shards so bad, because we heard why Rock did.
Yeah.
Because nobody in the peaks had any.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted them for his peak and everything, because certain peaks like go to war or whatever and everything. And it would just be like a great honor to do that.
Yes.
Cord's whole reasoning is like,
I want money.
What? No, she knows that cultivation's perpendicularity is there.
Yeah.
And she knows the peaks, a once isolated people, are no longer going to be isolated.
Yeah. So she wants to be able to protect them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a very, I think, honorable thing to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cord's amazing, and I love her.
Yeah. I like Cord a lot.
Same. All right. Chapter 15.
Lopin and Rushu find the Oath Gate. However, they realize that it's all fake when they discover the gem hearts are quartz. They finally discover the true Oath Gate chamber, and Lopin scrambles back to the beach when he realizes it's a trap. Cord saves Rysn from Nickley by taking them overboard.
They scramble.
They scramble.
Let's see. What did I mark here? Let's see. It says whoever was watching this place, they'd gone to great lengths to prevent them from arriving. Once that plan had been foiled, they'd probably been willing to let the expedition gather up fake gem hearts and sail away, so as long as they didn't find the real secret of the island. But he and Rushu had done just that, which meant the entire group was in serious danger. Even if Huio's gemstone wasn't blinking, he needed to get to the others quickly. He was glad for his instincts, because when he arrived at the beach, he found Huio being eaten by a monster.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't sort of the event a cousin should miss.
Yeah.
I remember reading that and just being like, huh? What do you mean he's being eaten by a monster?
Yeah, because other than the chasm fiends and I think one or two others, we haven't really experienced any giant monstrous great shells.
Yeah, we've seen the biggest thing we've seen is a thunderclast.
Yeah.
And this is obviously not that.
No.
Let's see. I really like that when Rysn is in a spot of fear and she's like, I don't know what to do. She puts her back up to a wall, pulls that bench to her, and lays her hands out, because that marks a trade. Yeah. I like that she was like, well, I can't fight, I literally can't do anything. This is the only thing I know how to do, and I just have to hope that this works.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Yeah.
So they're talking about negotiating, and Nickley says, you are persistent, as I said. Some of us knew it would come to this, some of us who are less idealistic than I. For what it's worth, Rysn, I'm sorry. I genuinely enjoyed our time together, but the very Cosmere is at stake. A few deaths now, however regrettable, will prevent catastrophe. Yeah. That's like right before they fall into the water.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm ahead of myself. But it's interesting that whatever is on this island affects the greater Cosmere in some way.
Yes.
And the Sleepless are like, yeah, we'll kill a few of you if it keeps it safe.
Yeah.
So it's like, what is this?
What is it?
What is it?
Wonder if the title of the book
might have something to do with it. All right.
Chapter 16.
Yippee.
Under the water, led by Luxbren, the pair find a cave. They find shard plate, soul casters, and a strange mural. Rysn hears the mural calling to her and accepts it into herself.
Yep.
So they find a cave under the water.
Mm-hmm. There's some treasure in it.
Yeah, I really like how Cord is immediately like, shard plate, gimme.
She said, that's for me, thank you.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any notes in that chapter.
You don't have any notes in this?
No, weirdly. I don't know. I guess I didn't see anything where I was like, because I don't know. I knew. I also, when I am making my notes sometimes, I'm like, what is Ryan going to say in the summary? Because if he's going to hit this really big point, there's not particularly a reason, unless there is something in the dialogue that I find important.
Yeah.
Then I will not mark it because I'm like, well, I know we're going to hit this major point. So.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like looking for like the description of what the mural.
What the mural looks like?
Yeah.
I remember there's like a sun. That's what I remember.
Because like I know what it is.
Right. Choo-doo-doo-doo.
Yeah, I know she can't read it. The peculiar letters were art themselves curling around the outside of an exploding sun, which was divided into mostly symmetrical pieces, 4 of them, each in turn broken into 4 smaller sections.
Yes. Sorry, I was yawning.
It's okay.
But it says like it wasn't even the dawn chant, like the writing on it.
Yeah, it was like so old.
Yeah. It says she could feel the heat of that sun burning, washing over her. It was not angry, though she knew it was being ripped apart like a person on some awful torture device. She felt something emanating from it. Resignation, confidence, understanding. She said this is the real treasure, although she didn't know why. I don't know either.
Okay. I can't tell if you're just being...
We're mostly spoiler free, so...
I feel like we can talk about this because this is Greater Cosmere.
Yeah, so I don't know. If you want to talk about it, go for it.
So this is a depiction of Ad Nauseam being broken into pieces. Ad Nauseam was that funny god who was like the god of everything, and then some people came along and broke him up into 16 pieces. That's what we call the shards. 3 of the shards, they were on Roshar.
Are they?
Well, one of them's dead. Honor's dead.
Right.
It's Honor, Cultivation, and Odium.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. This is depicting that, and there's something really weird about this mural, and then it just went inside of Rysn.
Bah.
Bah.
I don't know why I made that noise. All right. Chapter 17.
Lopen saves Huio, and Rysn prepares to negotiate with the Sleepless.
All right.
Chapter 18. The Windrunners continue to fight the monster, and more Kremlings come and drain their light. Huio swears the third ideal and saves Lopen. Nickley says Rysn can't offer them anything, then sees that she's become the Dawnshard and is enraged.
is enraged.
Is enraged.
There is a moment here where Rysn says, "You were there when I met Navani Kholin. You know she isn't the type to be easily dissuaded." And Nickley calls her the mother of machines. Yes, we are aware.
Mm-hmm. The mother of machines is so awesome.
It's crazy. It's like, I mean, she is.
Yeah.
But like, or she's creating all these fabrials, and obviously, like, I mean, we know in like the main story, something already has an issue with that.
Yes.
Because they like, have we gotten there yet? I think that might be in part 1.
That is in part 1.
I'm not going to talk any further then.
Yes. You'll find out next week, guys.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so yeah, she's making fabrials that and I mean, apparently the Sleepless don't approve of whatever she's going on.
Yes.
With the way that Nickley's like, we're aware of her. So I thought that was an interesting little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I don't have any other notes in this chapter. I was like, let me just be sure, but yeah. Or if there was anything else I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. 19. Huyo saves the day. Chiri-Chiri joins the cave group, and Nickley and Rysn come to an agreement.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh well, Huyo also said his third ideal.
Yeah.
In the last chapter, I don't know if that we talked about. I don't think we brought that up.
No, we did not.
Because right at the beginning of this chapter, Lopin's like, "How would you feel about carrying your cousin back to the ship?"
Yeah, because he said it.
Yeah,
he said the third ideal, and we know the third ideal is I will protect those, even those I hate.
Well, it's different for everyone, but in theory, yes.
Yes.
Which means that he hates Lope.
He hates him.
So sad.
So sad.
All right.
The negotiation between the Sleepless, to me, I'm just like, yeah, Rysn's kind of goated for this.
Yeah, no, she's awesome.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, like I said 10 minutes ago, like, I like that she's like, I can't fight. I'm not able-bodied to do this. I'm just going to sit here and do the only thing that I know and hope that it works.
Yeah.
And I respect that.
Yeah. And we learned, like, also, Chiri-Chiri was one of the ancient guardians, but their race has become so, like, limited and everything, and like
endangered.
Almost endangered. That's the word. That's the reason why the Sleepless have taken on this duty and everything. So I find that cool. And now Chiri-Chiri is like, oh, I'm going to protect Rysn now. And Nickley's like, don't think I won't kill you. But I feel like Chiri-Chiri's presence is kind of what kickstarts like the whole thing with Rysn of, oh, wait.
Yeah.
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 But the whole thing where it's just like, yeah, here's a fake cover story. Let people come to the island. Let people snoop around all they want.
Yeah.
And then there's like a cover story on top of that.
Right.
Where if they find out why the Sleepless are hanging around Rysn is because we're trying to teach them how to be more like humans and everything. Which is like, yeah, that's really smart.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think that's super interesting is like the way that they kind of come to an agreement because they're like, well, now it's inside you. And like, we actually can't do anything about that.
They can like kill her, but
yeah, but I don't know if that will immediately let it just be like sucked back into the wall. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know the intricacies of that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Also, the distinction where Cord is like, so Rysn is a shard bearer now? A Dawnshard bearer? No. She bears nothing. She is the Dawnshard now.
Yes.
That is how it works.
So interesting.
Yep. Okay. So epilogue. Here we are.
Yep.
Lopin swears the third ideal, then gains the respect of Rysn gains the respect of her crew and realizes that she's more aware of color and sounds. Did I steal what you were going to talk about?
No.
Okay.
Just very interesting that she's more aware of things now.
Yes.
Let's see. I marked something about Chiri-Chiri, but I don't feel particularly inclined to talk about that. Oh yeah. I did mark at the very end. Rysn's eyes flicked to the purple hordling hiding on the wall, near where it met the ceiling, shadowed. Strange how she saw the contrast of shadows much more starkly now. And why did Rowan's voice sound more musical?
Why did Derwal's voice sound more musical?
I don't know.
The rhythms. She's hearing the rhythms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we know
are
of this world.
Yes.
Originally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lopen gets kind of a
I was about to talk about that.
Ego check. Yeah, talk about it.
I mean, you can go ahead.
No, I was just no. You go ahead.
He finds out that he's annoying, basically.
A little bit, yeah.
That people find him annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like when he swears his third ideal. He's like, "Are you serious?
Now?
Like I could have used that like an hour ago."
Yeah.
So
he wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And yeah, so poor Lopen.
Poor Lopen.
I don't think, if I was around him in person, I would probably find him a little obnoxious.
Yeah.
But as a character, I'm like, Lopen, yay, comedic relief.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So
final thoughts. Do you prefer Edged Answer to this?
I don't know. I think they're kind of both the same for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel strongly either way about either of these books.
Yeah.
I appreciate them for the lore purposes, but I see them just kind of strictly as like required reading.
You see them as required.
I mean, they're not required for everybody, but I mean, for our intents and purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I originally said like I like Edged Answer more than this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they are about the same for me now.
Yeah. I feel like we get more of a journey with this one. I do like that.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I can only appreciate this as much as I do because I'm on a reread.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I mean, even reading part 1, there was times where I was like, oh, well, that just happened in Dawnshard.
Yeah.
So now I have a reference for that.
Because I feel like with Edged Answer does do, I think, a better job of being its own story. Like, yeah, you do miss out on a lot, like, without that. But I feel like if I gave somebody Edged Answer and Dawnshard, they're probably going to like Edged Answer more.
Right.
Because I feel like it requires less context.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Plus the first the prologue of that book is the interlude.
Yeah. So, where you meet Lift. Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't because I expected this book to start the same way.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. So.
Would you have liked this book to start off with?
I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Dawnshard.
I still liked it.
Yes.
I don't want anyone to think I didn't like this book. I still enjoyed it.
I honestly enjoyed this book a lot more than I thought I would have.
Yeah, I still really enjoyed it. I just am like a main series person. Like I said in the beginning, I'm just not, I don't go for novellas usually.
Yeah. We do get a good, cool illustration of Rysn and Chiri-Chiri.
I know, it's so cute.
Yeah. And you can see Lopen and Rua in the background. That's very funny. So the Dawnshard is a thing that was used to kill ad nauseum. And that's why it's so protected. And man.
Now it's in a person. So what does that mean for Rysn? Like, I have to think like, we see how the soul casters like physically affect someone.
Yes.
So I'm like, so how does a thing that was used to kill a god affect a human?
Yeah. And there's another book where the Dawnshard is brought up that I'm not going to bring up because it's super spoiler heavy.
Yeah.
It's Sunlit Man. You cannot read the Sunlit Man without reading the entirety of Stormlight Archive.
Yeah, you need to read Stormlight Archive. You need to have at least like read a summary on Dawnshard.
Yeah, like it's one of those like I'm not even going to touch on anything about it.
Yeah. Because you just need to have so much
except
Cosmere.
For the fact that it's a Western, and I really like that.
I know, it's really good.
Yeah.
I'm actually a big fan of that book, but yeah, you need to have so much Cosmere knowledge to read Sunlit Man and enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could read it and probably still be like, this is a good story, but there'd be a lot of references and things talked about where you'd be like, huh?
I feel like, yes, you can read that without any context and be like, yeah, this is a good story, but also like, what is happening?
Yeah. I think you'd just be confused.
Yeah. I don't know if
time.
you can read, like, I think that's no, that's not like my biggest gripe. Now we're just talking about Sunlit Man, huh?
Yeah, we're just in it. We'll get there eventually.
We will. We'll probably do like. I would love to do Tress.
I would like to
do an episode of Tress. Tress is short enough. We could do it, knock it out in one.
I think we could knock out all those books in one because they're all like
relatively short,
300 to 400 pages.
Yeah. No, I would love to do Tress.
I haven't read that book since it came out.
Same.
So. I'd like to revisit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to read Yumi.
Yeah, you still haven't read that one.
Yeah. I got like part of the way through and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I like the setting of that one a lot, but the setup does take a while for that book, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like the setting is the problem. Like once it started, I was like, ooh. I was like, I'm in it because I'm interested in what's like where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Like so.
Yeah.
Dawnshard.
Here it is.
We did it.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, since this is our Halloween episode, technically, Ryan, have you, I know you've been doing Spooktober.
Yeah.
Have you, I don't know. Did you rewatch a franchise this year?
Did I rewatch a franchise this year?
Or watch a franchise?
Yeah, I did the Conjuring franchise.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that last time.
Yeah. Let's see.
Have you have like a favorite movie?
So far?
Yeah.
My favorite movie I've watched so far would probably be The Blob.
Okay.
Yeah, the Blob remake from 87.
Sure.
I think it was 87. Really, really good. I feel like I might have talked about it before. Good practical effects. It's a melt movie. So it's not just like body horror. It's like, no, you're watching people melt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's gross.
I think we may have talked about this.
I think I may have too. So I won't.
Yeah.
That was really good. I'll pull it out. I watched one this week and it also is tied for like my favorite.
Okay.
Yes, it's called Ginger Snaps.
Ginger Snaps. What is it about?
It's a werewolf movie.
Oh.
Yeah. It's about two sisters. One's name is Ginger.
Okay.
She snaps.
Snap.
Yeah. It's a great movie. I'm not going to say much about it. It's from 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Very much like cult classic-y, like very much like, oh, if I was like 14 or 15 in the year 2000, this movie would be the only thing I would be talking about. Same thing with Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
But I found it like, I think if you really liked Donnie Darko, you would really like this movie because it has a lot of the same vibe.
Okay. I've never seen Donnie Darko.
Okay. It's a good movie. I like that movie. But Ginger Snaps also perfect Halloween movie too. A lot of it takes place like days leading up to Halloween and then on Halloween itself. It was very nice. Very cool. I rewatched Fright Night last night.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Have you seen that?
I think I have. I think it's been a couple years though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the original Fright Night.
Okay, I don't
in
know.
the 80s.
I don't know if probably haven't seen that one.
Okay.
I think I've probably seen. If there's is
the
there
remake?
a remake? Yeah, I think I've seen
from
the
like
remake.
2012.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one.
Yeah. Watched Evil Dead Rise.
Was it good? I heard it was like pretty good.
Okay, so
that was the new one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the original 3 Evil Deads.
Okay.
Watched Evil Dead Rise because I heard it was pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a movie where they're just like, we're not just doing like Evil Dead again, but like thematically, it was very much like the original Evil Dead.
Okay. In a good way?
In a very, very good way.
Okay.
And it's very self-referential, not only like thematically, but also in like, you have some of the demons saying like, oh, dead by dawn. And one character has a chainsaw and she literally says, come get some.
Love that.
Yeah. And so it's very, very good. It's a bloody, disgusting mess.
Ew.
Yeah.
I'm not really a gore person, but I like slashers. So it's like I can deal with like a certain amount.
Yeah.
Or I just do like a cover the eyes and I'm like, okay, is it over? Like
I think you would like it.
I've never seen Evil Dead, but I remember like I had a coworker that was really into the Evil Dead franchise and he went and saw the new one and he was like, it was so good.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it's a great movie.
Okay. I'm interested.
And then I watched the Evil Dead remake from 2013 and it was okay.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like, yep, that's a 2013 Evil Dead remake.
Yeah.
Then I watched Sinister and Sinister is not good.
Yeah. I never heard good things about that movie.
It's not good.
Yeah. Well, you only have like 4 more days of Spooktober, Ryan. Yes. Wow. Yes. 5 if you count today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I haven't done mine today. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do.
This evening.
This evening. Yes.
I know. I'm like, maybe I should watch Evil Dead Rise tonight.
You should. It's a good movie.
We'll see. It depends on if by the time we're done recording, if I decide I'm going to go see Bummer Hill play tonight or not.
Yeah.
But it's on a bill with a bunch of emo bands that I'm not really into emo music as much. Yeah. So it's like, do I want to go and hang out with my friends?
Emo music?
Yeah. Like go hang out with my friends and have a good time because I'm with my friends. But then like every time a band's playing, I'm like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Even though I
can't wait till we're in between sets and I can talk to my friends again.
Yeah. And it's like, not that the bands are bad. Like they are good bands and they are talented musicians. It's just not the type of music that I like.
Yeah.
So I'm the in between of like, do I want to go out and socialize or do I want to stay home and play Persona and watch a horror movie?
Where's it at?
Masquerade, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I saw you're at South Bend.
Oh yeah, we went to South Bend the other night. My friend Mason played their first show ever.
Wow.
Like first time doing vocals ever, first time playing in a band ever.
Yeah.
So we went out and saw them. Chopper Unit, hardcore. I don't think they have music out, but that's what they're called if you want to go follow them. But yeah, it was really cool because like Mason has been a friend that I've had for several years, just like that I've known through local music and they've just like gone to local shows for a long time.
Yeah.
So him being in a band and like doing his first show and everything, I was like excited to see that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was super cool. And then we popped over and saw Origami Angel after that, which is the only emo band that I actually do listen to still.
I completely forgot they were in town.
Yeah.
I would have gone to that show if I realized. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't. It was my buddy's birthday. So.
Oh yeah, no, it was a really really fun time. I like have known those guys forever, so it was like it's always good to see like when you have friends from touring or like I really know like. I don't know Ryland super well. Like I think I've talked to Ryland like maybe one time, who's like the vocalist and guitar player in that band. I've known Pat really well since like quarantine.
Yeah.
Because like quarantine was like when I was chronically online, but like I was in a band, so I was in like a lot of like online spaces with other bands.
So you were really annoying.
Yeah, I was. But yeah, so that's like I mean. I knew Gami before they had put out Somewhere City, like
oh wow,
before that album came out, and they had just had like Quiet Hours and like a couple other EPs and stuff. And so like they're my friends, and I was like, yeah, they make like good music. I like these guys. And then they put out Somewhere City, and I was like, oh my god, this is one of the best albums I've ever heard. Yeah. So yeah, they're just good homies, and that's what yeah. So we were just hanging out with Pat afterwards, and he was saying because like last time I saw them, they played Hell at the Masquerade, which is like their mid-sized room, and this time they played Heaven, which is the biggest room.
Yeah,
and so it's just been really crazy because like I've seen them also play in a basement. And so it's just like cool to see that progression over time.
Mm-hmm.
They were like our label mates at one point. We were all like they were also on Acrobat Unstable, and
cool.
Cowboys was also on Acrobat Unstable. So that's kind of how we were connected originally.
Yeah.
And and they're just literally the nicest people in the world.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but we were just hanging with Pat, and he was like, yeah, you know, now I don't have to worry about my drum stuff. I have like a drum tech, and he was like, so cool to be able to say that I don't have to worry about it. And I was like, you guys have worked so hard for this. Like, yeah, of course that's a cool thing to say. Like, be proud of it. Like, you've worked towards this.
Yeah, no, Somewhere City and Gami Gang are like some of my favorite albums, and
they're good, and their new album's really good too. Like, I wasn't super keen on it the first listen through, but the more I listened to it, I was like,
I've only listened to it the one time, so
yeah, give it another listen.
Yeah.
I think it gets better the more you listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those. Yeah. But one last Halloween thing. You've dressed up for Halloween already?
Yes.
Talk about your Halloween costume or costumes that you've done this year.
Me and Brittany did a Twilight costume.
Uh-huh. Talk about it.
So
it was so awesome.
We dressed up as the dads from Twilight. As some of our listeners may know, I watched Twilight for the first time recently, and that movie's not good, but it's awesome.
But it's fun.
It is. That's a really, really good time. I would watch that movie without question again.
Yeah.
But probably with other people, because I think that's the best way to watch those movies.
Yeah, don't watch those movies by yourself unless you have like a nostalgia thing for it.
Yeah. So me and my girlfriend dressed up as the dads from that movie. She dressed up as Charlie, and I dressed up as Carlisle.
It was
and I
so
shaved
awesome.
my beard and everything for it. And Brittany put on
a mustache.
Did a mustache and a wig, whole 9 yards.
Oh, it was awesome.
Oh,
Ryan sent us a picture in like our friend group chat, and we were all like, "Oh my god!" Like Jack was like, "I love how hard Brittany committed to this."
I was not expecting that.
It was awesome
because it was
so
her idea
cool.
too. It was her idea. She brought it up, and I was just like, "No, that could be funny."
Yeah, no, and then you guys killed it. It was hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good.
Yeah. Best costume I've seen all year was a group of my buddies who did do the trio from Challengers.
That was funny. Yeah, you sent us that picture.
Redid the shot of all three of them on the bed, and it looked so funny.
That's so hysterical. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been to I guess I've really only been to like one Halloween party this year, but I did Shigo from Kim Possible.
Yeah.
That was one I've had in the vault for like 2 years. It's just been sitting in my cosplay box, and I've just like literally it was still in like the Amazon wrapping packaging. Wow. Like it's just been sitting in there.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I pulled out Shigo for a Halloween party, and then we have a friend Halloween party this week.
Yes.
And Jack is doing Patrick Bateman.
Okay. Yeah.
From American Psycho.
Mm-hmm.
And
is
then
he gonna shave and everything or no?
I hope not.
He should.
He should. I know he wants to slick his hair back and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But and then I'm doing Michael Myers.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, I really want to do a slasher. And there's a shirt hanging off of that thing over there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dog shirt for Zeus, and it's the Halloween shirt.
That's funny.
Michael Myers is my favorite slasher.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's like, it was one of my, Halloween was like my OG, like, slashers that I watched. And so it holds a special, I have like Halloween posters in my room. I like that movie a lot. For the franchise.
I think that's going to be my closing question.
What is that?
All right, listeners. Who's your favorite slasher villain? Who's your favorite horror villain? Not just who's your favorite villain from a movie?
Yeah.
Favorite movie villain?
Yeah, because
I want to know, because I'll tell you my favorite slasher.
Mm-hmm.
It's Freddy.
Freddy? See, I wanted to do Freddy Krueger because Spirit had this really cute like sweater dress, and I was like, oh, I can be sexy Freddy Krueger. Like it's not like sexy, but I was like, I can be Lady Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
But they didn't have my size.
Fredween Krueger.
They also had like a Michael Myers like jumpsuit dress, and I really wanted that.
Yeah.
They didn't have it, so I bought just the smallest male size in the jumpsuit that they had, and that thing is huge on me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be looking real goofy, but it'll be funny. So. Like, that's awesome. I put it on because, like, that show that was at South Bend Commons was like a Halloween show. And so I was like, oh, I'll wear the jumpsuit and then I'll just show up to Origami Angel as Michael Myers. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then I put it on when I got home from work. And I mean, like, it was like,
They just swallow you
over my ankles, the crotch is like down close to my knees. And I walked out of my room and Jack was like sitting out here on the couch and I was like, what do you think? And he laughed so hard.
That's awesome.
So I'm gonna have to do some work on it before Naomi's party on Wednesday. Or I can just be like, really.
You have so many costumes.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I don't think you're struggling.
I told Jack, I was like,
You have a witch hat right there that I'm looking at.
I told Jack I wanted to do like murderers together.
Oh, okay.
We were both going to do a slasher, but then he was like, I want to do Patrick Bateman. And I was like, okay, well, I still want to do a slasher.
Speaking of murderers, there's an American Psycho remake happening.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
With the same director as Challengers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hope that'll probably be pretty good then. Hopefully. I hope.
I have high hopes for it. I just don't know if it needs to exist, but
yeah, you know. I think the first movie does what it needs to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jack originally was like, oh, I can do Patrick Bateman and then you could be like the hooker that he gets. And I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, I was like, we could, but like, I'm not. I would rather dress up as Michael Myers.
Yeah. The emotionless monster.
Yeah. I was like, you know that Jack's college thesis was why on Michael Myers is bisexual. Or talking, dissecting as to why Michael Myers is bisexual. That was his
I do remember
thesis.
that. Yeah.
So I'm gonna be. That's what when I came out and showed Jack my costume, I was like, oh, well, I can like maybe pull the sleeves down because I was like, oh, I'm gonna be sexy Michael Myers, and then I was like, I could be Michael Myers with boobs.
With boobs.
So that's my costume is Michael Myers with boobs.
Yeah. Me and Jack had the same last like final class like horror thing. God, that's funny.
Yeah, that was so. I was thinking about that. I was like, oh my god, I get to be bisexual Michael Myers.
Yeah.
So that's my Halloween costume this year.
Because the knife is phallic. And he can't have normal sex like other people.
I like you whispering that.
No, slasher movies are very fun to talk about in that sense.
Yeah.
But they're also really annoying to talk to people like us in that sense because I took, I think, like 3 horror classes
in college.
No, I definitely took 2, and I took a sexualities class with the same professor.
Okay.
Talking about films and stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's awesome.
Shout out Professor Anselm.
Shout out.
She's great. She was like my favorite professor I had. Second, she was one of them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our Halloween episode. And also,
boo!
Oh my god, you scared Nova. You scared Nova. I was gonna say, I don't know when the next episode comes out. If you are a United States citizen, go vote.
Oh yeah, go vote.
We don't care who you vote for, but you should exercise your right to vote.
Yes. Election day is like next week.
Next week, yeah. So that's
it's not next week.
It's pretty much.
Oh wait, it is next week because
this is Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. So election day is next week. Try and vote early, guys.
We both voted early.
Yeah, I was in and out 5 minutes.
Same. Yeah. So, but yeah, like we said, don't care who you vote for, but you should vote.
You should vote.
And happy Halloween. Remember to leave your favorite movie villain in the comments.
You should do that. Name your favorite movie villain.
And if you have a favorite slasher, if you like horror movies, I would like to know your favorite slasher. But if you don't watch horror movies...
Yeah, horror movie in general, I would like to know your favorite.
Yeah.
But specifically slasher, yeah.
I don't know. Just give us something spooky in the comments.
Yeah. I said Freddy. It might be Chucky.
I think
both of them are just funny.
Yeah, I've never been a Chucky fan personally, but I like Michael Myers. I do like Ghostface. I like Freddy. I love one-off slasher movies. Mm-hmm.
Presidents are temporary, but Wu-Tang is forever. You brought up Ghostface. I'm sorry.
What's up? All right. We're going to go have a spooky fun time now, and we'll see you guys next week for Rhythm of War.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Like, subscribe.
Happy Halloween. Ooh.